Morning Year 5 and welcome to the last day of the week where we're talking about coordinates and translation. So here are your answers from yesterday and then I will introduce your Fluent in 5 for the day. Okay, so here's your fluency. If you pause the video and time yourself, see how you get on, and I'll come back with the answers. Okay, and today's answers are there. Okay, today we're moving on from coordinates to actually look at translation. Well, translation is something you can do with some shapes. It just means to move them from one place to another. So I've got a couple to go through with you and then you've got some to try at home. So first of all, we've started with a shape. Now this one is a square and I've labelled each vertex of the square with a letter just to make it a bit easier. I've written down here the starting coordinates. So the starting coordinate of A is 3, 8, B is 6, 8, C is 6, 5 and D is 3, 5. The first task, number 1, is to translate the shape 8 squares down. That means move the shape. So the best way to do this is to do it one point at a time. So I'm just going to put my pen on point A and I'm going to move my point down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do a little star and I'm going to put a little A and then a little dash to show me that that's the new A. Then I'm going to do the same with the B. Then I'm going to do the same with the C. And finally the same with D. So all I've done is translate each of those points 8 squares down, and then I'm going to redraw the square. So that shape has been translated or moved 8 squares down. Okay, we're going to go back to our original square and now we're going to do number 2, which is to translate that square 10 squares to the left. Oh, actually I'll just go back and put these coordinates in. So A is 3 across and 0 up and down. B is 6, 0. C is 6 and minus 3. And D is minus 3 and minus 3. Okay, so the next bit then is to translate the square 10 squares to the left. So we're going to start back at the original one and we're going to go 10 squares to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm just going to put that there and I'm going to just point something out. So this A was 3 on the x coordinate. We've moved 10 to the left and we're now at minus 7. 3 take away 10 is minus 7. Okay, same for B. We're going to move that 10 squares to the left as well. We're going to do the same with C and D, just to show you. And then we're going to join them up. So now we've done number 2, which is translate the shape 10 squares to the left. That's number 2. Okay, and then number 3, same thing again, but this time you're going to move it twice. So, we'll put the coordinates in, nearly forgot again. So minus 7 and 8 is the first coordinate. B is minus 4 and 8. You might start spotting something about these coordinates. Minus 4 and 5. Minus 7 and 5. Okay, and then this time, so for 3, we need to translate the shape, the original shape, 5 squares left and 12 squares down. So I'm going to put my pen on A. I'm going to go 5 squares left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to go 12 squares down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, you may have been able to do a jump there because you know that that's 8 because it's 8 away from 0 and then 4 more. So that is point A. Now B, same thing again, 5 squares left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 10 down, 12 down, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's B. And same with C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 12 down. And I can see that that is where D is going to go, but I'll just check. 5 and 12. Okay, so that's our final translation. So translation, you can see, is just moving the shape. But the easiest way to do it when you're moving a whole shape is to do it corner by corner. And the new coordinates there, if you want to pause your screen and have a go first, and then I'll write my coordinates in. So A is -2, -4. B is 1, -4. C is 1, -7. And D is -2, -7. Okay, so that's that way. And another way that you might see it, just going to show you another example, is like this. So I've got a 4-quadrant grid here going from -5 to 5 on both axes. We want to describe what is happening to go from purple to blue. Here's purple and here's blue. Now it's a coordinate, so we go long first. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 squares to the left. One, two, three, 4, and then 1 square down. So that what I've done there is just described the translation. Let's do 2 more. Again, if you want to pause and have a go at these first, otherwise you can watch me go through them. To go from green to orange, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. 1, 2, 3, and 3 down. 7 squares left. 3 squares down. And then the last one, to go from pink to yellow, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares to the right this time. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 squares up. And if I were to write down the coordinates, you'd be able to see something. So if I do the coordinates here from purple, started at 2, 3, and ended up at -2, 2, you can see that the difference between these two numbers is 4. The difference between these is 1. And you'll see that pattern if you repeat that with those two. Okay, so to finish off our week then, there's not an assessment this week, just a couple of translation activities to do. And then if you do have access to the internet, there are some coordinates games there, finishing with an Enrich treasure hunt activity for you to have a go at. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week.